Chicago's game is 16-inch softball. Chicago softball is played barehanded with gnarled fingers and knuckles that tell stories of errors and victories in games long past. It's safe to say that most Chicagoans have played the game in school, at a picnic, in leagues, or tournaments. Over the years, 16-inch softball has become a part of the fabric of our city and is beloved by generations of players and fans. The game of 16-inch softball is one that can be enjoyed by all ages and aptly combines hitting and fielding skills with strategy on both the offense and defensive side. You can play it for fun or part of friendly competition. The game evolves and changes throughout a player's lifetime. To promote the great game, and by honoring and recognizing the game's best, the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame was formed in 1996. Since then, more than 300 men and women players, umpires, supporters, managers, organizers, fans, and teams have been recognized at annual dinners that have attracted over 500 attendees each year to meet and celebrate the new inductees. In July of 2009, the 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame got its own special place in Forest Park, Illinois, to pay respect and honor players past and present. Often called the Wrigley Field of Softball Diamonds, the new outdoor inductee park, generously supported by March Manufacturing, hosted a grand unveiling drawing a crowd of more than 1,000 fans of the game, featuring a ceremony honoring Hall of Famers new and old. The event generated massive media coverage on every local TV station, on radio talk shows, in a full-page story in the Chicago Tribune, and it captured national media attention in both the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. We need your support. Please donate a few dollars, buy a brick honoring a team or player to be laid at Inductee Park, sponsor one of our venues, or a display in our new museum currently being designed. The museum will tell the history and stories about the great game of 16-inch softball, from its best players to its fans. Exhibits will consist of vignettes on women in the game, industrial teams, great heritage of athletes on the south and west side, famous Chicagoans who played, and the evolution of the balls, bats, and uniforms. The hall has currently attracted great Chicago brands, but we need more to make the dream of so many players and fans come alive. Be part of the history and keep the game going. Champions like the Bobcats, Sobeys, Whips, Rose and Crown, Lettuce, and the 45s are the stories that will be told for years to come.
Be a part of history. Donate to the 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame.
Softball is a way of life. I played it from 18 years old, major softball. I played all over. I knew every city, every park in the city, from the north to the south. And at one time, I was the only white player in the black league, in the Daddy O'Daly League. So when I look back at today and all the friends I have made because of softball, and it's no different, even though I'm old, I still enjoy the game and still enjoy watching them play.
Same day, maybe later in the afternoon, I feel a hand on my shoulder and I'm at my typewriter. That's how long ago this was. You know, we didn't even have computers. I look up and it's Royko, and I'm going, Mike Royko, oh my God. I was scared because I worked there for 2 years and I had never spoken to the man. He was a god. He said, lad, I understand you're starting a softball team. And I said, yes, sir, Mr. Royko. And he said, here's how we'll do it. And I'll be the manager, he said, and you'll be the captain.
Well, my favorite moment of the game, I probably have two of them. One is when we won the national title in 1993, and the other one was when we played Let Us Entertain You down in at Grant Park, where someone walked the person in front of me to fill the bags loaded, and it hit a grand slam on TV when Sports Channel used to televise us. So that was a great moment for me personally.
If you're new to Chicago, you may have wondered about that game you see played along the lakefront. It looks like softball, but they're playing with a ball the size of a cantaloupe, and most of the time, they're not even wearing mitts. The game they're playing is 16-inch slow-pitch softball. It's a game played almost exclusively here in Chicago. Now, of course, it's not only played on the lakefront. You can see it played in parks all over. But if you're looking for the biggest, busiest 16-inch softball league, You need to go to Washington Park on the south side. Christian Farr has the story.
It's Wednesday night at Washington Park. Dog Pound is playing 10 deep on diamond number 7. On diamond 9, Outcast is up against Stella's Angels.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Get down, small!
Altogether, 21 teams will play here tonight. And believe it or not, this is a slow day for softball at Washington Park. Come here sometime on a Sunday and you'll see 51 teams play on 13 diamonds in front of some 3,000 spectators. Keeping it all running smoothly is a man that everyone knows as Sarge.
My name is Leonard McKennon, born April 17, 1933 at 58 East 32nd Street. Retired Sergeant First Class from the Illinois National Guard. I served 36 years and 5 days.
On Wednesdays and Fridays, Sarge is the league's commissioner. On Sundays, he's the senior umpire. He learned how to play softball as a kid from his older sisters and brothers.
In the evening, when we didn't have nothing to do, we'd go and play softball. Under the L. I live next to the L. If you lived on the east side of Wabash and I live on the west side, there was a softball team on either side of the street, and we would, after school, we would all get together and have a neighborhood softball game where all the mothers and the fathers and the sisters and the brothers come out and watch us play ball.
Washington Park covers 380 acres from 51st Street South to 60th Street and includes a lot more than softball fields. When Sarge McKennon was a kid, there was softball in Washington Park, but the players weren't African American.
You know, when they talk about Brownsville, it ran from 26th Street to 47th Street, not down here. When I came down here when I was a kid, it was just like going to another town.
Hey! But in Bronzeville itself, there was plenty of softball. And after playing for a lot of neighborhood teams, Sarge McKennon was noticed by the legendary Southside team, the Ironmen.
When I got old enough, they would always tell me, well, one of these days, the way you hit that ball, we're going to have you to be on our team, the Ironmen. So in 1950, they made a first baseman out of me.
In his 31 years with the Ironmen, Sarge led the team in home runs and was the team's manager for 10 years. Accomplishments that may have helped land him in the Softball Hall of Fame in 2002.
No, he got that one.
Softball became so much a part of his life that Sarge thought it only fair to warn his bride-to-be.
When I got married, I told my wife 2 things I'm going to do. I'm going to be in the military and I'm going to play softball. That was 52 years ago. And we're still married today.
4 of Sarge's sons played softball over the years, and 1 is still playing today, over on Diamond 8.
I've been around softball since I was born. I was born in this game. My father was playing down on 37th and State, and I was born in 56. And I've been around this game all my life, me and my brothers, my whole family. You know, it's a good game to keep you healthy. Get him! And keep your mind fresh, you know. Come out here every summer, see the fellas, you know, say, hey, man, we survived the winter. Go! Get him down! Got him! It's a game that, you know, kept a whole lot of us out of trouble.
The ball goes in the dugout, hit the back fence, and come out without being touched. It's a live ball.
These old timers out here, they raised us, so they, you know, we got a lot of value about life and a whole lot of things. It takes us out the neighborhood where all the trouble's at, and bring you out here where you do something constructive and you learn positive things.
My name is Sherman Nelson. I'm the manager of a team called Young Guns that has won 15 championships in 5 years. Won this out here about 4 times.
But the Young Guns and most of the teams here tonight don't only play in Washington Park.
We also play in Westchester. We play in Hoskins. We play 6 days a week.
For years, 16-inch softball was mostly played in leagues that were either black or white. Over time, African-American teams started playing in some largely white leagues, but it's still not that common for white teams to come to Washington Park.
You know, if we have a big preseason tournament, and they'll come to Washington Park, but you don't see them other than that too often. My father used to escort them in the black neighborhood to play 16-inch softball against them. And but now we go out to the suburbs now and play. Like we got a lot of teams out Westchester, Blue Island. So you know we go well wherever softball is at. We follow.
Every year, some Washington Park teams compete in national 16-inch softball championships. Now, since most 16-inch softball is played in the Chicago area, the idea of a national championship may seem unnecessary. But since about 1960, there have been nationals that include teams from places like Iowa City, Phoenix, and California. But black teams weren't included for several years.
They didn't tell us anything about World Series of Softball until 1967. But ever since then, it always have been black teams to represent from the South Side in the World Series of Softball.
But while African-American teams have played in the Nationals since then, there have been no black national champions. That is until 2005. That was the year that Steel Gold won the Class A National Championship.
That was the first for a black team to do. It was pretty exciting to see one of ours go out there and win it.
Our pedestal is pretty good right now. You know, we're looking real good. So everybody, well, we got a lot of people who want to jump on our bandwagon, of course. We take some ball players, but everybody don't fit our chemistry, so we can't have it.
The Steel Gold win was sweet. But there was one thing that still bugs Sarge McKennon. Chicago media paid no attention.
None. Zero. There was one newspaper that came from over at the University of Chicago. No other newspaper showed up. You know, coming up in softball helped me between the military and softball. It helped me a whole lot. Softball is a game that you got to understand human nature and getting along with your fellow man.
For Chicago Tonight, I'm Christian Farr.
Now, it is accepted wisdom that 16-inch softball is never played with gloves. So how come these guys were wearing them? Let's just say that it's a raging controversy in the world of softball. Some leagues swear by them, and some players wouldn't be caught dead with a mitt on their hand. If you'd like to watch softball in Washington Park or play there, the games start Wednesday and Friday nights at 6:45, and on Sundays, the games start at 9 in the morning.
What is going on with the Nationals right now? What has changed?
This is a brand new association, Mike. We're calling it the SSA. It stands for the Slow Pitch Softball Association. For years, other associations perhaps didn't give as much money as what deserved, and this new young group, headed up by Sal Milazzo and our commissioner Joel Zimberoff, is getting the money back to the players. The first tournament ever, first place was $3,000, so that's significant. Not only that, this is a Chicago game, Mike, that belongs here in Chicago, and the guys have stuck together to form this new group.
It's not only the prize money, it's the umpires that we're used to. You know, the umpires that we're choosing are 16-inch umpires. They know the 16-inch strike zone, and that's a big difference from what we're used to when we go out of town and play in Iowa or wherever else. They bring in umpires that really don't know our game, so that's a big part of our game.
Great organization, getting it off the ground, moving forward. A lot of good people involved that have been in the game for 20, 30 years that are running. We've got a board set up. We have a great commissioner, Zimberoff, great board members with Denny Lawler, Sal Milazzo, Anthony Tyler, whoever else I'm missing, I apologize. Gio, of course, all playing active major ball. They know the game, and we're moving in the right direction.
Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh man, this is one of the greatest feelings in the world to come out here in this nice park. Actually, we was supposed to be in Iowa, and the coach said, "Look, they have a tournament in Crystal Lakes," and we decided to come out here. That's what we did.
It's nice to see the guys. You know, and I understand the ASA and SSA. There's still some things going on there, but yeah, you know.
It's business.
But this is our game, you know. It belongs in Illinois all the time, you know. And hopefully next year we're supposed to stop wearing the gloves and stuff now, and so, you know, it'd be better for it's our game.
There's nobody on base. Aren't you supposed to be over here?
Oh, it's the best. I know I got something to do on the weekend. You know, I have to come out, play some ball, have a couple of beers, and have fun.
Scotty, cover your hole here, Bob. You got your hole here, Bob.
It's just being here with your teammates, the other competition, playing against your friends and fellow comrades, if you will, in the game, enjoying beautiful weather, and you know, getting out there and basically enjoying the game, season softball, the competition, the camaraderie.
Oh, I love it. You know, just coming out here, looking at the grass, you know, playing in the competition with other people. You know, it's just something I always love to do.
Why do I look forward to playing softball? It's fun. It's recreation. It's not work. It ain't family problems. It's coming out, relax, have a good time.
There was no TV. You ate and slept softball. It was fascinating from the time I was 7 or 8 years old when I started to play, to go to the parks or the local playgrounds or the schoolyards where they had gravel. Everything was occupied. They played all day long.
It's a unique game. It's indigenous to Chicago, and it's one of the best games of all time. There's some wonderful athletes playing. I played it since I've been a kid. I mean, all neighborhoods have 16-inch softball teams in Chicago.
They've kept it alive. It's amazing that they have. It's a great game because you can play on the smaller ballparks, which you have to do in the big cities, and it's a fascinating game to watch. If you go watch the great players play this, it's amazing to watch them. The skill involved in this is unbelievable. I mean, they really have great skills, these guys. And the thing that's nice about it, for a guy my age, if you play it all the time, and you have to play it to have those kind of skills, you can play till you're 45, 50 years old because of the type of ball and so on and so forth.
I remember in 1955 when I was with the Yankees, I brought a couple of my Yankee teammates to see where I started out my career hitting a 16-inch softball. I brought Bob Cerv and Irv Norn from the New York Yankees, and I know darn well the softball players of today would beat a Major League ball players team.
Nobody wants to lose a softball game, but more important than that, you really don't want to lose to one of your competitors. And if you're playing in a league where you're playing against your competition, you really want to make sure that you play well and that you don't lose to one of those guys. Being a white collar, a blue collar, whatever your salary is within the company, doesn't make any difference. If you really love softball, you probably have in your life rescheduled a meeting, missed a meeting, made sure that you arrived on an airplane in time to play a baseball game, have run from work and changed in the car or changed in a washroom into your uniform. You always have your uniform in the trunk.
Oh, yeah, the intensity was there. I kind of forced it on them, and I told them if they wanted to play, they have to be intense, and if they wanted to play with us, they'd have to do that. And that was one of the fundamental things that I always looked for, and this is what I got in return.
I'm Tempe Thomas, and we're here at the No Glove Nationals just outside Chicago, Illinois. This is 16-inch softball, meaning it's basically kickball with bats.
Here we go. OT on 3. 1, 2, 3. OT!
Can you talk to me a little bit about the whole 16-inch softball scene here in Chicago?
The whole 16-inch softball scene, it's the greatest game, no doubt about it. Better than that Stinko 12-inch, that's for sure. All those big monsters on your TV show, you heard it right here from the fat guy in Chicago.
And it's definitely a Chicagoland game. When it went national, the team started playing with mitts, and that's sacrilegious as far as I'm concerned. It's a game meant to be played with hand.
You talk to any 16-inch ball player who's been playing since a kid, and all his fingers look like this.
My ritual is taped around my pinky so I don't dislocate.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, Bill. We've just received word that George Bliss, the voice of Chicago softball, has just entered the park. We're going to talk to him and let him weigh in on this weekend's competition. Thanks a lot, you're great.
All right.
Tempe, how you doing? A little extra hug, baby. A little extra Chicago love.
What the heck are you doing in Chicago? What's going on?
I'm here for the championship. Are you kidding?
Yes, 16-inch No Glove Nationals. It's going to be great, isn't it? We're at Forest Park. This is a beautiful field.
It's gorgeous.
It's absolutely amazing. This is better than a Major League Diamond here.
Great.
Well, this is the No Glove Nationals. This has been going on, as I mentioned, over 30 years. And this is the neighborhood bragging rights. This is it. You win this, you're the best in Chicago, because these are the 24 best teams. You have to be invited. You have to be ranked. And when you win this, you walk down the downtown Chicago, Michigan Avenue, goes, "Hi, I saw you. You're a 16-inch superstar. May I talk with you?" This is neighborhood fandom at its best right here.
It's the place to be at the end of July every year in Forest Park.
This is the 16-inch ball. To see this, the clincher, 16-inch. Do you notice me wearing a glove?
No.
No, because it's hard to play this game. Look at all these guys hit the ball.
What are you guys gonna do now?
Hopefully win 2 more and go sit at a bar somewhere.
You know, they never give the catcher enough credit. I called the game. He only throws the ball where I tell him to.
We hate gloves.
Yeah,
Gloves?
you're a
Gloves.
you are a badass.
It's a lot harder to catch a ball with a glove, actually.
Really? You would say?
Yeah, I think so.
It's clearly, you know, the ego of Chicago. You know, the Mike Roykos, the Dick Butkuses, the Brian Urlachers. You know, we feel that in the neighborhood, you know, you play with bare hands. You come out there, you throw your T-shirt on, you get rid of a bat, you don't buy those expensive $400 metal bats, and you play the game, right? Here, you take it like this in the face, you take it.
Is there a prize that you win if you win this championship?
Yeah, you win some money, but it's more about winning than anything else.
At the end in this town, for some reason, there's always an upset. Last year, the team was undefeated and wound up losing both games. That's what makes the game good.
So what do you guys do to train?
What do we do to train? We eat burritos.
And we want to say hi to all our friends listening on Softball 360 because they love 12-inch, but we love 16-inch. And that challenge is still out there for us to play a 12-inch team.
There's kind of a rivalry there, yeah?
I would say more than that. If
Defensive play that you have with bare hands versus a mitt is just, it's night and day.
I mean, 12-inch is fun. You could hit the ball a lot harder, but there's some guys on this team that get the ball 300 feet, so 16-inch.
It's the Civil War of softball, 12-inch versus 16-inch.
When you see all these people here at this tournament and you see the little kids that come, especially after the games, they start picking up the ball and throwing it. I think as long as, you know, we're around, there's going to be 16-inch softball.
Because this is the pinnacle game here. This is it, right here, 16-inch. I'm still challenging the 12-inch guys on Softball 360. You can't keep up with us. Sorry, I don't want to get you mad.
Well, the greatest game so far I've seen. Kenny Kaselika now batting in the top of 7th. First pitch swinging, and it's a hit to right field. Herdecki quickly in. A single for Kenny Kaselika. 4-2. 4-2. Will Windy City come up with the miracle here? Next batter. Another hit to right field. There's a hit. First and third. No, he's going to hold it first. So, Windy City comes up with 2 quick hits. There was McKissick. 22 for Windy City. Swing, and there's a line drive to center field. And in comes Kaselika. Oh, the 2 got past the shortstop, but Westover backed it up. So, Duff with a great hit there. Now it's 4-3. First and second, no out. Got a pinch runner out there at second base, number 1. Okay, here we go. Westermeyer's deep at third. A line drive to Bobby Russ at first. Great grab. Oh, my. Incredible play by Bobby Russ. This is it. If they don't convert here, Flash will hold on to defeat Windy City 4-3 and take home the first SSA Major Nationals. Here's the pitch. Hesitation. Delivers. Ground ball to 91. Over to first. Flashback wins it. Flashback has won the SSA Major Nationals 4-3 in an incredible game out here. Flashback holds on. Windy City almost pulled off the miracle. They almost came all the way back with just 1 runner short. 4-3. Ground ball to Hernandez. Over to Bobby Russ. Ground out for the 3rd out. That's it. 4-3.
Hi everyone, I'm Steve Paschal from Sports Channel Chicago. And I'm Mike North from the Score Sports Radio 820. And Steve, we're going to be doing softball every Sunday night at 8 o'clock for beautiful Forest Park.
You got it. It's the old style Super 16-inch softball league.
Oh,
you
they
got it?
heard. I'll tell you what, I missed the game, but it's going to be fun broadcasting it.
8 o'clock every Sunday night right here on Sports Channel.